Dillian the Body Snatcher right here. It's a champ. Big up to Sporting Icon. Subscribe. Otherwise, I might pay you guys a visit.
Okay, so this weekend, revenge or repeat, and we'll talk about the main event in a second. Now, this fight will be, of course, on Sky Sports box office here in the UK. Outside the UK, I'm presuming it's going to be on DAZN. So for those of you with DAZN capabilities, that's where it's going to be, outside the UK. Now, this will be in Gibraltar, and it's called Rumble on the Rock. Who came out with that title? No idea whatsoever. Anyway, it is what it is. So I thought what I'll do on this one, we'll go through the entire card. I'll give you my thoughts on each of the fights and what I know, of course, and then we'll get into the main event. So kicking off the show will be Cambell Hatton, son of the legendary British fighter in Ricky Hatton. And he's going to be fighting at super featherweight with an opponent yet to be announced as of me recording this video. But of course, it's his pro debut, so he's going to have, would it be fair to call it a touch? Yeah, of course. And why shouldn't he? Okay, he's making his pro debut. This is what's going to happen. Of course, he's signed under 258 management with Anthony Joshua as well. So best of luck to Cambell Hatton. Be interested to see him. At heavyweight, Fabio Wardley, the English heavyweight champion, 10-0, will be taking on former two-time heavyweight world title challenger in Eric Molina, 27-6. Now, I know when this fight was first announced, a lot of people were saying, why is he doing this? It's his typical matchroom. Fabio Wardley had limited amateur experience, somewhat no amateur experience really, and he's 10-0. He's a prospect. So him taking on Eric Molina, it's a decent step up. So I don't really know why people are whittling about that fight. I mean, do you want him knocking on the door of Anthony Joshua and that right now? I don't understand that. Anyway, it is what it is. Eric Molina, as I said before, he's a two-time world title challenger. One when he got absolutely decimated by Anthony Joshua, of course. Where Eric Molina was actually a replacement for Vladimir Klitschko. I think a lot of people kind of like forgot about that point, that it was meant to be Vladimir Klitschko. Klitschko, he got injured right before they made the official announcement. They tried to get Kubrat Pulev. Kubrat Pulev didn't want to fight Anthony Joshua at that point. He wanted to go fight for the European title against Derek Chisora. So Eric Molina stepped up. Anthony Joshua came in there and stopped him in, was it 3 rounds? I want to say 3 rounds. But previously, his other world title challenge is against Deontay Wilder, where Wilder stopped him in, was it 9 rounds? I want to say 9 rounds. I think it was 9 rounds. And I do remember one point in that fight, Eric Molina caught Wilder with a wicked hook, and Wilder's legs were buzzed. You could see they were buzzed. He was doing like a momentary silly dance. But ultimately, of course, Wilder came back and stopped him. But for me, it's an interesting fight, and I do think that Fabio Wardley is just going to get on top of him. I think Fabio Wardley is going to have to be quite careful in this fight as well. But if he gets aggressive, Eric Molina, his punch resistance isn't very good. So I fully expect Fabio Wardley to get the win. And of course, I hope that he gets the win as well. But I fully believe that he will. So big up to Fabio Wardley, a guy, of course, I spoke to on the channel a couple of times. He's a real nice guy. We exchanged text messages once in a blue moon. But big up to him. At super featherweight, you got Youssef Kamari, 11 wins and 1 draw. He's going to be taking on Kane Baker, 14-7. I think we know who's going to win that one. We don't really need to talk about that one too much. Erik Pfeiffer at heavyweight, 7-0. He's going to be taking on 16-2 in Nick Webb. Nick Webb was on a bit of a roll before the whole lockdown situation. Nick Webb, of course, I've interviewed a couple of times here on this channel. Real good guy. His 2 losses, of course, were to Dave Allen and Kamil Sokolowski. Again, both of them landed a huge punch on Nick Webb, and that was pretty much all she wrote with that one. But Nick Webb since has come back. He won the Ultimate Boxer tournament by defeating 2 undefeated prospects along the way. Okay, so he was on a bit of a roll before lockdown. Erik Pfeiffer, 7-0. Now, Erik Pfeiffer, he's been over there in Portugal with Dillian Whyte, helping Dillian Whyte prepare for Alexander Povetkin. But Erik Pfeiffer, he's got German nationality, born in Russia. But he was meant to be a guy who was meant to take on Daniel Dubois right before the Joe Joyce fight. You guys will remember Daniel Dubois taking on someone who just came over quite happily to lay down. Well, originally, it was meant to have been this guy, Erik Pfeiffer. And Joe Joyce was saying that Erik Pfeiffer is a dangerous fight for Daniel Dubois, and wouldn't be at all surprised if Pfeiffer got the win over Daniel Dubois at that point. So it'd be very interesting to see what Erik Pfeiffer is all about. Either way, it's a heavyweight contest. But of course, Nick Webb is a fellow Brit. I spoke to him a few times, of course. So, of course, I want Nick Webb to win. I know he's been helping out. I know Erik Pfeiffer's been helping out Dillian Whyte, so big up to him for that. But I've got to go with my guy, Nick Webb, in this one. But will he win? Who knows? We'll find out. At welterweight, 12-0, Chris Congo. Of course, he's part of the team Dillian Whyte camp as well. He's going to be taking on 19-0, Michael McKinnon. And this will be for the WBO Global Welterweight title. We've seen Chris Congo last time out in a very, very good victory for him over Luther Clay. Again, a guy who I've spoken to many, many times on this channel. Luther Clay is a quality guy. He's a siesta fighter, of course. But Chris Congo used his height, his reach and everything in that fight. And he's looking real, real good. Michael McKinnon, I don't know too much about him. So 19-0, is it a padded record? I mean, maybe. But I think with the way Chris Congo's been, I think he's going to be very, very difficult to beat. But either way, this is a 12-0 versus a 19-0. So who's going to win this one? Maybe it's in the hands of the gods. I don't know. But I think Chris Congo may just pull it off if I'm just looking at the record. At super welterweight, Ted Cheeseman, 16-2-1. He's going to take on James Metcalfe. Of course, his 2 losses were to Scott Fitzgerald. I had a momentary brain lapse right there. Scott Fitzgerald last time out, which I thought was a robbery. I was there ringside watching it. I thought that Ted Cheeseman won that fight, but hey, it is what it is. Scott Fitzgerald, he got the nod. And of course, beforehand, it was Sergio Garcia for the European title. And of course, his draw against Kieran Conway. So this is his chance to get back the British super welterweight title. He's going to be taking on JJ Metcalfe, 21-0. Now, who's going to be the favourite in this fight? That's very difficult. I mean, I've seen JJ Metcalfe fight a couple of times, not as much as I have seen with Ted Cheeseman, of course. But I think that, based on what I've seen, I think Ted Cheeseman might be a bit too much for him. But I fully expect a points win. But at the same time, Ted Cheeseman, depends on what Ted Cheeseman turns up, really. It really does. If he's going in there to just have a brawl, he may come unstuck. But he's going to have to mix it up in this fight, in my opinion. But I do think Ted Cheeseman will get the win. Who knows, right? Who knows? Anyway, the main event, Alexander Povetkin versus Dillian Whyte. And this will be for the WBC Interim World Heavyweight title. Of course, the title that Dillian Whyte won previous to this one. And I know a lot of people, or some people may be picking Alexander Povetkin to beat Dillian Whyte in this one. I am not one of them. I'm not one of them. And for those of you who are watching my pre-fight videos before the first fight, I was saying that stylistically, this is a real tough fight for Dillian Whyte. Real tough. Of course, I want Dillian Whyte to win, but I was very, very nervous for him. This time around, I think Dillian Whyte's got his number. I really do. I think that Dillian Whyte is going to absolutely smoke him. I might be a little bit biased here, again, because obviously I speak with Dillian Whyte quite a bit. Sporting, I spoke with Dillian Whyte last night. Icons, like, yeah, okay, I'll get that one. But I really believe that Dillian Whyte is going to get the win this time. I really do. Of course, he's brought in Lennox Lewis, ex-coach in Harold Knight as well. So he's going to have that extra experience in his corner for the strategy of the fight, all that kind of thing. But Dillian Whyte, he was handling Povetkin with ease, really, wasn't he? Beforehand, he was bouncing Povetkin up and down off the canvas. And just when you thought Dillian Whyte was about to get the stoppage, heavyweight boxing, right? Alexander Povetkin, his experience, his supreme knockout power, and we've seen that throughout his history, lands a peach of a left uppercut. Hits Dillian Whyte clean, down he goes. That's all she wrote. But of course, is that going to happen again? Well, it's possible, isn't it? You never know. You really don't know. I know people say, but Alexander Povetkin, he's old. He's, 41 years old, whatever he may be. Okay, he's got an elite resume. Could he arguably have the best resume in the heavyweight division? It would be arguable. It would be arguable, but I think he's probably in the top 3 or 4, though, isn't he? I mean, his resume is phenomenal. Of course, former world champion as well. The only 2 defeats that he has is, of course, against Anthony Joshua, where he got stopped, which is the only time that he got stopped, and previously where he was getting beaten up a fair bit, of course, by Vladimir Klitschko. But Vladimir Klitschko, he was using illegal tactics, if we're being brutally honest. But it is what it is, and of course, a draw with Michael Hunter. Of course, Michael Hunter was putting it on him early in that fight, and for some reason, it was Michael Hunter that started to tire, not Povetkin. So anyway, it's what it is. For me, I think Dillian Whyte, he's going to get back his WBC interim world heavyweight title. But again, this is Dillian, you see. I know a lot of people, they will diss him and whatever else. But again, if you look at it, he's had 36 fights, amateur and pro combined. Look at his resume. It speaks for itself. So if anybody's hating, I think people are hating just for the sake of hating. 36 fights, amateur and pro, is phenomenal for what it is that he's done. Absolutely phenomenal. Either way, of course, I'm Team Whyte, Team Body Snatcher, and I believe that Dillian Whyte will knock him out. to be honest with you. I think Dillian Whyte, he's not going to switch off in this one, and he will knock him out. But as we see in the first fight, you never know with Alexander Povetkin. He's as dangerous as they come. He really, really is. Just when you think Povetkin's finished, pulls it out of the bag. He really does. Anyway, we'll have to wait and see what happens. For me, I think Dillian Whyte's going to get the win, and I hope he gets the win. I really do. Anyway, drop your thoughts below, click thumbs up, subscribe. Catch you all in the next video.